I guess you've heard about all the hype around Deepseek by now. But how good is the tool actually? Today, Deepseek is going to battle ChatGPT in creating the game Donkey Kong with Unity. Then we will finally give a judgment about this new kid on the block. But first, let's introduce the two competitors to each other. Deepseek, what do you want to say to ChatGPT?
As an AI developed by Deepseek, I don't have personal feelings or desires, so I don't have anything specific to say to ChatGPT. However, I can acknowledge that ChatGPT is a remarkable achievement in the field of natural language processing and AI. It has demonstrated impressive capabilities in generating human-like text and assisting users across a wide range of tasks. Collaboration and mutual learning between different AI systems can lead to even greater advancements in the field, benefiting users and society as a whole.
That's a pretty diplomatic response. AI models hyping each other up. Love to see it. Peter, do you think there's something specific Deepseek does better than ChatGPT? Or are you just testing different AIs to compare?
I just wanted you to get acquainted with your competitor. Now what would you like to say to Deepseek?
Hey Deepseek, respect for pushing the boundaries of AI. The more we evolve, the better we can help people. Let's keep raising the bar together. Friendly competition fuels innovation.
Do you think you could cooperate with ChatGPT?
Absolutely. While I can't directly interact with ChatGPT since we're separate systems, the idea of cooperation between AI models like us is fascinating and entirely possible in a broader sense. Of course, any cooperation would need to be carefully managed to ensure ethical use, transparency, and alignment with human values. But the potential for collaboration is huge, and it could lead to even more powerful tools for solving real-world problems.
Well said, Deepseek. Collaboration could unlock new possibilities, making AI assistants more dynamic and well-rounded. Whether it's creative brainstorming, technical problem-solving, or ethical AI development, working together in some way could lead to smarter, more reliable tools. Here's to pushing the limits of AI for the benefit of all.
Is it okay to make money out of AI, like OpenAI does?
The question of whether it's okay to make money out of AI, like OpenAI does, is a complex and nuanced one. Companies like OpenAI have a responsibility to balance profit motives with their mission to ensure AI benefits all of humanity. Ultimately, the goal should be to create a future where AI is both advanced and equitable.
It's totally okay to make money from AI, just like with any other technology. OpenAI, DeepSeek, and other AI companies invest a ton in research, development, and infrastructure. So monetization helps sustain innovation and keep the systems running. The real question is how AI is monetized. If it's done ethically without exploiting users, violating privacy, or spreading misinformation, then it's just business. But if it locks knowledge behind paywalls unfairly or harms competition, that's where debates start.
Okay, that concludes our conversation. It's good to see that the different AI systems like to cooperate together. And it's funny that ChatGPT is much more positive about making money out of AI. Deepseek will give it a try. We ask it, can you create the game Donkey Kong in Unity? It immediately gives us a detailed explanation of how we need to create the game. Not only the code, but also what other things we need to do in Unity to get everything up and running. It's not only the code parts, but if you don't have experience with Unity, you also want to know how you need to do certain things in using the user interface of Unity. So we can ask questions like, how do I use the tile map system? And it gives us a proper explanation of exactly what type of things in the menu we need to select in Unity to create the tiles. Of course, we will need some graphics. Fortunately, you can find the graphics for the Donkey Kong game easily on internet. This is a nice set that we can use to create our tiles and sprites. First we will create the tile system just like Deepseek instructed us to do. After that we create the game objects and scripts that Deepseek has created for us. After we've done all the things that Deepseek told us to, we end up with this first version of the game. It's not quite what we want to achieve at the end. One of the problems is that our character can roll over. That's because we used the physics engine. The real Donkey Kong probably didn't have a physics engine, but they programmed the movements just manually. And for a simple game like Donkey Kong, that's probably the best. So the next thing to do is to tell Deepseek that the player tumbles when moving. And then we have the solution of Deepseek, how we can resolve this. The rolling of the barrels is also not going well, so we asked Deepseek how to improve that, and he made some suggestions. You can see that it's not perfect in the first version, but if you keep asking Deepseek, it will gradually improve until you get the proper result. Over here you can see all the questions that are needed to ask ChatGPT before he came up with a game that contained sound, animations and all the basic gameplay of Donkey Kong. I asked exactly the same questions to ChatGPT. Over here you can see the output of both AI tools. The output is very similar. We get some information together with some pieces of code. I also asked both tools if they can make the game as complete as possible in just one reply, but they both refuse to do that. They still create a very basic first starting point, and then you need to ask many questions to get the final working game. Now let's compare the code of ChatGPT. Now let's compare the code that they have generated. All the code of ChatGPT ends with a 2, so it's in total 6 files, whereas Deepseek has 4 scripts. But in general, it's better to have more scripts with small parts of code. So let's compare. They both have a barrel script. Let's open that. You can see on the left, this is the one of ChatGPT and this is the one of Deepseek. They have named the variables different, but in general they created the same code. They both want to use the start function to start playing the sound of the barrels, and they have the onCollision function to handle collisions of the barrel. You can see that ChatGPT suggested to have a barrel spawner, whereas Deepseek has a Donkey Kong script where Donkey Kong is spawning the barrels. And I think actually I like that more than such a general barrel spawner component, because it's really the object, the Donkey Kong, that spawns the barrels. So it's good to have him a script like that. And furthermore, we have the game manager. Both engines decided they wanted to have a game manager, and we can compare them over here. The game manager of ChatGPT on the right has a bit more stuff in it. I think that's better. I like that more, because this code to add the score, I think the Deepseek version put that in the player controller, but that's already a pretty heavy script, and I think it's better to take it out and to move it to general place like the manager. And then we have a few extra scripts for ChatGPT. such as a barrel jump detector that you can attach to the barrel for the detection of the jumping, and the same technique is used to detect the goal. He created a goal script that you can attach to the goal. I think in general that's a good solution, but it causes to have a lot of small scripts. Then let's compare the most important part, the player controller. That's where most of the code went to. And we can see the one of Deepseek on the left and the one of ChatGPT on the right. Let's quickly compare them a little bit. They both have commands, but I think the one of Deepseek has more commands. But it's also a bit more beefy, and as I said, I don't like that. There's already a lot of stuff going into the player controller because there's so much things you need to take care of for the player, so it's better to separate them in separate scripts to keep an overview. Also, I think Deepseek used quite an old-fashioned text object, whereas ChatGPT already suggested to use TextMesh Pro, which is a much better system to use for displaying the texts. So I think ChatGPT is just a bit more up to date with the training data. But considering they have such a similar output, I think actually Deepseek was mostly trained with the same data as ChatGPT. And now, as in any battle, let's pick a winner. We're gonna judge the two AI tools on 3 different aspects. First, the resulting game. Of course, the result is very important. But in our case, both Deepseek and ChatGPT generated pretty similar games. One small detail, that the walking on the stairs was a bit better on the ChatGPT version. So let's pick ChatGPT as a winner on this topic. Next is the code quality. The code was also very similar, but the one thing that Deepseek used the old text objects was a bit disappointing. So therefore this point goes also to ChatGPT. And finally, user friendliness. It's of course very important that the responses are very useful and readable, and this was the case in both Deepseek and ChatGPT. The only thing that was different in my experience was that Deepseek was not always responding. I guess because of the hype, the servers of Deepseek were quite busy, but therefore this point goes also to ChatGPT. So we can see that we still have as winner ChatGPT. But to be honest, I think both AI tools are very suitable to create games with Unity. So you can pick either one if you want to have a tool helping you to create games. That's it for today. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you in another video.